Hello everybody, my name is Octavio Vasquez. I work at the Control M support team, and today I'm going to talk to you about self-service and how it can help you to empower your end users and simplify your operation. How many of you get a lot of calls of your end users asking for the status of a job, rerun a job, or submit a very used job? How many times you have received these requests when you are on your lunchtime? What about to perform these tasks from your mobile device? Or even better, enable your end users to perform them by themselves. On this session, we will see how self-service can help us to solve these and other questions. So let's start by reviewing today's agenda. We will start checking self-service features, continue with a description of the architecture. I will show you how to set up self-service on your environment. We're going to have a demo where we will review the product utilization on the web browser and also on the mobile app. I'm going to share with you some interesting tips and tricks, and finally we will have a Q&A session. If you look at the right panel of the WebEx window, there is a Q&A box where you can enter all your questions at any time of this presentation. We will answer them at the end of the session. Let's check the self-service features. Control M Self-Service is a Control M add-on which enables users to view and perform actions on jobs through a service view, accessible via a web browser or mobile app. We don't need to install a regular client to enable users to monitor and submit their jobs. Our mobile app enables users to easily access their jobs on their portable iOS and Android devices. Self-service uses a business-oriented service view for jobs. The services are a collection of related folders and jobs. Self-service simplifies problem resolution by empowering the users to find their jobs, identify the problem, and solve it by ordering add-on jobs or performing other jobs actions. Now let's see the self-service place in the Control M architecture. Self-service has two parts, a web component and a server process that runs on the Control M Enterprise Manager server. The web component is deployed on the Control M web server that is delivered with the Control M Enterprise Manager. So the users access self-service via the web browser or the mobile app that contacts the Control M web server. The requests are processed by the self-service process on the Enterprise Manager server, and the result is sent back to the Control M web server to display the results on the browser or the mobile app. What we need to do to start using self-service. Self-service is a separate licensed product that is delivered with the Control M Enterprise Manager. It is already installed with the Control M Enterprise Manager. You need to download the self-service product files from our EPD site and run the install on your Enterprise Manager server to start using this product. These files will install the license on your Enterprise Manager and enable you to start using the product. Since self-service uses a service view, we need to define services in order to view our folders and jobs on the web browser or mobile app. Let's define what is a service. A service is a collection of related folders and jobs that are aggregated based on a filtering criteria. We have two options to define the services. You don't need to create both. You should use one. You should use the more convenient type for each need, okay? So the service definition defines a single service based on a filtering criteria. We must use the service definition to create orderable services that are the only way to order jobs or smart folders through self-service. A service rules enable us to manually or automatically generate multiple services based on filtering and grouping criteria. With the service rule, we don't need to create multiple individual services using the service definition option. So it can save us a lot of time. Summarizing, the service definition helps us to create a single service and enable the orderable capability, while the rule is used to create multiple services. The services definitions are refreshed automatically, both service definition and rule. For example, if you create a service that contains all the jobs that are part of a folder or application, it will include the new jobs that are added after creating the service definition. There is no need to redefine the service definition in order to include the new jobs, okay? Using the control M authorizations, we can control which services are visible for an user, and also we can control the actions that can be performed at service or job level. For the demo, I'm going to show you how to create a service definition, a rule, and an orderable service. We're going to see how the authorizations works to limit the user access, and we will review the self-service features available on the web browser and on the mobile app. So let's go to our demo environment. Okay. So we're going to assume that we have already installed self-service product files. So the license has been installed on our Enterprise Manager server. The next step is to create the self-service server component in the Configuration Manager. As you can see here, the component is up and running, so we are ready to start using the product. Since version 8, the web server is a component of the Configuration Manager. As you can see here, we have the web server. If we do a right-click over the web server component, we can see this web server URLs option. If we click it, we will see the URLs that are available on the web server. Here is the self-service URL that we're going to use later, okay? But let's start by defining the services. So we need to go to our workload automation client and go into the planning domain. In the planning domain, we go to tools and we can see the service definitions utility. We click it. There is a sample service rule that is delivered with the product, but we're not going to use it. We're going to start by defining a service definition, by creating a service definition that will define a single service. So I have a requirement to create a service for my payroll team. This service will contain all the jobs that are in the payroll folder. So I'm going to use this option named service based on filter. So I'm going to click next. It's very important to take note of the name of the service that we are defining, because this is the name that we are going to use later when we are setting up the authorizations. Okay, so we go to the next screen. This is the selection screen. On this screen, we're going to configure the filtering criteria for this service. I want to include all the jobs in the payroll folder, so I go to the folder field and look for my payroll folder. It is here. So I select it and click OK. You can select multiple folders, whatever you need. The next screen is the orderable parameters. This screen is useful only for the orderable services. In this case, we are not going to use it. So I just click Finish, and there it is. My first service has been defined. Now, let's take a look to the service rule. The service rule, as you can recall, is used to generate multiple services. I'm going to enter a name for the rule. This is the name of the rule. This is not the name of the service. Please take note of that, because sometimes we use the rule name for the authorizations, and that is not going to work. This is only the name, the rule's name. Here we have a checkbox, active checkbox. That means that as soon as we finish the rule definition, the rule will start working, will start generating services. So we're going to keep it enabled to let it start working as soon as we define it. So we go next. We have the filtering screen, very similar to the previous one that we have seen. My requirement for the rule is to create one service per each sub-application contained in my SAP application, okay? So I'm going to look for my SAP application using the application field. Here it is, okay? So I go next. This is the grouping screen. On this screen, we're going to configure how we're going to group jobs into services. My requirement is to create a service per each sub-application. So I'm going to select these two fields, application and sub-application. We go next. And here in the properties screen, we're going to define how the services name are going to be built. On this arrow, we can see the fields that we have available to build the services names. As you can see, these are the same two fields that we have selected on the previous screen. For example, if I have select also folder, I will see the folder field here. But well, in this case, I only have these two fields, and this is how I'm going to build the name of the services. Application dash sub-application. So let's click next. This is the review services screen. This is a very important screen. On this screen, we're going to see the services generated by the filtering criteria that I have configured. So it is going to help me to validate if my criteria is working correctly and giving me the expected result that I'm looking. So as you can see, it is working fine. I have two sub-applications in my SAP application, one for UK and one for US. And the name is built correctly, application dash sub-application. So I'm going to click finish, and that's it. My rule is defined. Finally, for the definition part, I'm going to create an orderable service request by my financial team. There is a request to create a finance on request job that they common want to execute it commonly. So as you can see, we have this orderable checkbox at the end of the list. The checkbox is gray out now. It's very important to note that this checkbox will be enabled only for the last two options of the service list. Service per smart folder and service per job. Those are the only two options that enable the orderable parameter, the orderable capability. So I'm going to use the service per job because I want my users to order only a specific job through self-service. So I enable orderable and go next. Now I have to look for the job that I want my users to order through self-service. So I look for the folder. Here is my folder. And this is the job that I want to give them. Okay, go next. And now the orderable parameters window. The orderable parameters are totally related to the auto-edit variables that are defined on the job or smart folder. So we click the plus symbol. There, you don't need to define orderable parameters if you don't need them. It's up to you if you want them to give the input values to the smart folder or job that they are going to submit. If we click in the drop-down of the name field, we're going to see the list of auto-edit variables defined for that job or smart folder. In this case, this job only have one auto-edit variable. So I'm going to select it. On the next field, I'm going to type the name, the label that I want to give to this parameter on self-service, and the type of the parameter. Also, we can select if the parameter is required or not. And we have other options like validation and a default value. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, and that's it. My orderable service is created. So now let's go and see our services on the web browser. We're going to use the self-service URL. Click on it. Okay. First, I'm going to log in with an administrator user to see all the services that are available on my environment. Okay, we have the SAP UK service. Okay, and well, this is we only see this one because this is the only the only jobs that are in the active environment. If the jobs are not in my active environment, I'm not going to see them. Okay, so we can order our payroll folder. Okay, I'm going to order my payroll folder, and it will appear. While self-service is refreshed with my payroll folder, I'm going to show you the orderable service that we have created. It is here. And as you can see, when you select it, you have the list of orderable parameters that have been created for the service. I'm going to enter a month for the job and order the service. Okay, the service has appeared with the new label. That means that it has been ordered correctly. And we need to give it a minute. Okay, my other services have appeared. So now I can drill down into the services and see the job flow. Okay, as you can see, the jobs are hold. I am able to perform these job actions. So for example, I'm going to release this job, and that's it. Now on this right panel, we have all the information about the job. As you can see, it is waiting for a resource. Let's perform another action like run now. And in the meantime, let's go and see our orderable service. Okay, it has run. We can take a look at the jobs inside our orderable service. Here is the job. It do an echo command with the variable. We can see the output, and we see the value that I give it as an input parameter. Okay, go back to the payroll jobs. The job has been executed. As you can see, we have all these actions. All these actions are controlled by the authorizations on the active tab. And all these permissions are controlled by the authorizations in the services tab. Let me show you that. Okay, so I'm going to log out, and now I'm going to modify the authorizations for one of my payroll users. Let's go here. Okay, this is one of my payroll users. I'm going to clear this to do it. So this user is going to be able only to see the payroll service. So I'm going to type the name of the service exactly as it has been defined. It's very important because this field is case sensitive, so you must be careful with that. On this field, we are able to use also wildcards. So for example, if you use this configuration, the user will be able to see all the services starting with the payroll string, okay? But for this example, I'm going to leave it as payroll only. I'm going to give him the permission to drill down, view jobs, and that's all that I'm going to give him. So let's click OK, and let's log in as this user now. Okay, here it goes. And as you can see, the user is able only to see the payroll service. All the other SAP services are not available for this user. This user is able to drill down and see the jobs. Okay. So now let's go to our mobile app to see the utilization. Okay, I have found, well, we have found a very useful application that can let us mirror my smartphone screen to the PC and show it to you. So here it goes. Okay, so here's my smartphone. Here is our Control M mobile app, and well, let's click on it. Here is the settings screen. On this screen, we are going to enter the URL where our self-service web component is running, as you can see it here. For this example, I'm using the demo environment that is available on our corporate site. You can access it. As you can see, we have this connect to demo site button and also the need a demo account. So you need to get the credentials in order to access the demo site. It is very easy. You only need to get registered and you will get the credentials, okay? So I will give you the link later. Okay, so I enter my credentials. You can do the test button to validate the credentials and do the save and connect. Okay, so here's the summary screen of our mobile app. We can see services and jobs. We see that we have 4 services in complete okay status, and we have 1 service in complete late. Okay, let's go to the services. Here are my 5 services that are currently available on my environment. I can see the 4 services in complete okay status and the one that is complete late. Let's take a look at this service. Okay, I can see that there is a job in wait condition status. So let's see that job. On the mobile app, we are able to see the job flow, as you can see here. It is very, very useful for us to see this kind of view. And here is the job that is in waiting status. If I click the arrow icon, I can see all the information of the job, description, the command, the status, and all the usual options like output, log, etc. So let's do a bypass for this job and run it now. If oh, if I go to the if I select the job and go to this menu, I can see the options, the job actions available for this job. Let's do the run now to give it the resource that it is waiting. We can do a refresh here and we can see my job executing. Okay, now the kill job action is available, but well, we're going to leave it. Okay, it has run okay, run and not okay, we can check it. Yeah, the command is wrong, okay. So well, we can do a force okay and do a refresh. And there it is, my job has been forced to be okay. Now I'm going to show you how to order an orderable service through the mobile app. Okay, so I click the plus symbol and I'm going to get the list of the orderable service available on the environment. I'm going to select it, click next. As you can see here, the service has 2 orderable parameters, cost center. I need to select a cost center for the orderable service. I'm going to select this one and a month for the report that I'm going to run. I select February and do confirm. So now the service has been ordered. Let's take a look. You can see it here with the new label. So there's no need to go back to the office. We can do all these tasks from our mobile app wherever we are. Okay, let's take a look. You can pull down to refresh. So we will give it a minute to get refresh and to get the status of the job that this orderable service is running. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the other option. This is the jobs option. This this screen is used only to look for jobs, for specific jobs. For example, if we type, if you can recall our billing job, and all the instances of our billing job will appear. Okay, so now let's go back and take a look of our orderable service. It has been run. Oh, it is still in execution. Let's take a look. Okay, let's check the information. Okay, so here's my job. It's asleep, so it's going to take 2 minutes. Okay, so let's go back to our slides. This is the mobile app utilization. Okay, now I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks that could be very useful for you. Security is a very important topic. For the web interface, we can enable SSL on the Control-M web server. It is a very easy configuration that can be found on our Control-M for SSL guide. And we also have these two KAs that can help you with this. To improve the mobile app security, we have the Mobile Integration Kit that allows your local mobile team to recompile the self-service mobile app and distribute it as an in-house app to the users in your organization. The Mobile Integration Kit is available on our EPD site, okay, under the self-service product. I also recommend you to check the product's documentation.
As Octavio had said, the self-service user guide and setup guide are the two references available on our website. Both of these guides walk through the self-service setup that Octavio has just gone through. Additionally, in the EM, there is a place to manage your self-service configuration parameters. All of the default settings in the EM are the recommended and suggested settings. If you do feel like you need to change any of those, please consult the documentation and also contact us, and we can recommend your specific parameters for your specific environment. Additionally, as Octavio showed, the Control-M self-service trial is available from the BMC website. This allows you the ability to just download the mobile app or from the web browser to be able to access the BMC corporate site and test drive the Control-M self-service and play with some of the jobs and features that Octavio has shown you. Okay, I want to thank you for attending, and again, we will, after this present webinar, there will be a survey that will pop up. If you could take a minute just to fill out the survey and also suggest some additional topics, we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to address some of the topics that you are interested in. For the February Connect with Control-M, we will be doing the Control-M for PeopleSoft module, and please plan on attending that, and we will be sending out registration emails for that. Additionally, we have several websites available for other Control-M information. I want to highlight our BMC Communities page. You can just go to the bmc.com and select on Communities. In there, that's a place for customers and partners to be able to post questions and answer questions and look up information for things that other customers are doing on certain best practices and topics. We will be posting the Q&A for this session on the BMC Communities, and additionally, you can click on the link to be able to view the recording of this webinar on the Communities as well as on the iTunes and YouTube. And please also, if you want to, we have a Facebook and Twitter accounts that you're able to connect to and receive updates from us.